Welcome to the RedSocial podcast. We are joined here today with me, Scott, and my brother slash business partner, Klaus.
Thank you for organizing this, Scott.
It's my pleasure. So, Klaus doesn't actually know what the topic of this podcast is. It's not because I haven't done the prep and prepared everything. No, that's irrelevant. But the topic of the podcast is actually picking the name of the podcast.
I thought that buying a mic would be enough.
Yeah, unfortunately, you still need to call it something. So, coming into topic, we're really interested in AI and especially ChatGPT. So, I decided to ask ChatGPT about some podcast names. So, the idea of the suggestions are quite interesting. So, it would be an interesting thing if we could discuss them together and then to pick a name. I didn't want to strain ChatGPT too much. So we have the first name, which is RedSocial Insights.
Okay, that's good. It's short, it's sweet.
So it's a direct reference to your business that suggests in-depth exploration into social media and SEO trends. Okay. Then we have the RedSocial Hour. My opinion on this is that it kind of forces us to be an hour long, which I don't know if we want to be restrained by such arbitrary.
I like the first option better.
That's a good way of saying you don't like it. Okay. Now I'm gonna pick some that I liked because I'm not gonna go through all of them. But one of them is clicks and content with RedSocial.
Okay.
Okay. The SMM and SEO spectrum, and then you can have with RedSocial.
That's definitely a no for me.
Okay.
I one.
That is your veto is accepted. But now, dude, this is my favorite one. Okay.
Okay. Bear with us, folks.
Engage and optimize. And then you can have like a RedSocial podcast or.
I think we should narrow them down to 3.
Okay, so I asked ChatGPT to remove RedSocial in the name and allow it to be less restrained. So then we have and then these become a bit less creative, I would say. So, but there's optimize and amplify, which is similar to the other one, which was engage and optimize. So optimize and amplify. And then there's the digital marketer's toolbox. So if we were to, if I was to, let me share the list with you, and then you can take a peek at it, and then we can narrow it down to the ones we think are most interesting and why.
I don't know why I want to keep the name.
You want to keep RedSocial, you mean?
Yeah.
I would say that when it's similar to, optimize and amplify or engage and optimize, the name there adds something, but when it's
not loading for me.
Not for every name. That's what I'm trying to say.
The link you sent me, it's not loading for me.
Are you logged into that account?
Well, that makes sense. We have too many ChatGPT accounts, folks. I think I just recently found out that I had 2.
I would say that 2 accounts is a good number of accounts to have.
Well, if you're only using one of them.
Yeah, okay. Well, then you are still unrestricted. So
yeah. One of the employees is using the other ones, but I think you've also changed the password, so still not. You can just share a list on Discord.
That's another interesting topic. Okay, so these are the ones without RedSocial, and these are the ones with RedSocial.
Okay, that's a long list.
No, but yes, but it's not as long as you think, because it also has a bit of a description for the names.
Engage and optimize a RedSocial podcast. You want to remove a RedSocial podcast?
No, I like it there.
I
Like
like that.
I like it there. Like as I said, in some cases it doesn't work as well. Like for example, the SMM and SEO spectrum with RedSocial. Like we have vetoed that name, but that's an example of a case where it doesn't work because the name is already quite long. Whereas engage and optimize the RedSocial part adds more context to the name.
I like this. I like it.
Well, then
It
I think
sounds
we have
good.
just we might have picked a podcast name quite quickly because that was one of my favorite ones as well. So I don't really have any other ones that I'm very yeah
I also
that
liked
have
Red
piqued
Social
my interest.
Insights, but still, engage and
Yeah.
optimize a Red Social podcast. It has a nice ring to it.
Okay. Okay. So now we have 53 minutes of filler time. Okay, but this is a perfect caveat, not caveat, a perfect segue because we need to learn and talk about all the lingo into what is the best platform for business chat. We have been through all of them.
Started from
Starting,
Slack. Now
no,
we're
no,
here.
no, no, even before that.
What was
Started
before
from
that?
Skype,
Yeah, started from Skype.
started literally from the bottom.
If we go further back, we can even mention MSN, but still, that was too
Yeah,
early.
yes, we don't want to remember those dark email addresses.
I miss the MSN nudge. I like that.
Yeah, the nudge was good. I
Nudge
think
was good.
Facebook had the poke, right? They removed that.
They
So Facebook had a similar thing.
the far superior.
The nudge had its place in the
The
history of chat.
the window would pop up and you had
I
no
would say
choice.
I would say yeah, exactly. I would say that the nudge has been replaced by the question mark. That's the
Definitely.
that's the modern day equivalent of the nudge. It's like, excuse me, are you gonna reply to this or am I just waiting here? But then Skype was good for a very long time. Skype was, it had the phone call feature. It had you could create groups. You didn't need other people's like email addresses. You just had the username, and I think they had a lot of those prompts where you could click a button and it would pop up the Skype window for you to add them as a contact. So you didn't even need yeah, you could integrate that on your site. But the problem with Skype was that Skype was so slow. Like, it is incredible how unoptimized that app is. Such a simple app, but since Microsoft has built so many layers on top of it, it's just too, yeah, it's too, what's the word? Not congested, but like blown up. Like it has too much unnecessary from features to functionalities, which all need to work with hardware and software that's very old, but then it feels old and sluggish in modern software and hardware.
I remember 10 years ago, we would get so many messages on Skype. Everyone was
Mm.
using Skype back then. But
Yep, yep,
right now, it could be this one random person who still is stuck on Skype, doesn't want to make the leap on any other platform, and
yep. Skype is like a zombie. It's like it's dead, but it's still, it can still bite you in the ass because there's people who refuse to leave it. And it might be this scenario where like I'm on Skype because there are people who refuse to leave, and I wonder if this is why those people are on Skype too, because they
everyone's there
don't
for
know.
the same reason.
Exactly. So it's like no one is actually taking the leap of faith to just leave. In fact, I don't know if you know this, but like my username on Skype is for support email at support@redsocial.com. So that
I
is my username. So I have taken actions towards trampoline in all inquiries.
I'm surprised that still, like, I'll get a message every now and then. The last message I got was a couple days ago, and it was just a customer asking random questions, all of which are answered on the site. Sent him the link, and It stopped there.
Mhm. It's quite interesting because, like, the coming back to our adventures into different platforms, like we jumped into Slack when Slack was very good, and then Slack had this arbitrary limit where you could only search like 1,000 messages if you had the free account, either 1,000 or 5,000. Because we, like, not being able to search your chat history is a really, yeah, it's a really big downside to a chat platform. I don't know what you thought of Slack.
I really like Slack, to be honest, but
Mhm.
it's just feeling where you have to start paying for something that used to be free, and you never
Precisely.
really get over
They
that part.
exactly. It's like if you jump into a platform and you already know like these are the limitations, then you're fine with it. You're like, okay, I'm either going to pay for this or I'm going to use the free version, knowing what the limits are. But Slack just, removed features, and they're like, okay, pay us for this now. And it just feels like, on principle, that's not something that I wanted to support. So then we found Keybase, and Keybase was awesome. I I have a
Keybase
special
gave
place.
free crypto.
Keybase gave free Solana, yes. Keybase, but
I
Keybase
think
was really good. I think like they gave like thousands of dollars to us and our
it
staff.
it 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 reached it reached a considerable amount.
Yeah, I know. I feel a bit guilty because I helped all of the staff members got some Solana, and then I actually had the ability to exchange it, so I just offered to exchange it to the staff, and then I converted it. But then it skyrocketed. So had I actually kept it,
Yeah.
so that's what I get for trying to be the good guy. But on the other hand, they might have never even converted it, so at least they got some money.
Well, chances were that they wouldn't convert it.
Yeah,
It
exactly.
wasn't a more of an investment. It was just not knowing what to do with it.
Precisely. Yeah, and it's not as easy. Yeah, it's neither easy to get in nor out of crypto, as we know very well.
I don't remember why we stopped using Keybase.
I do.
What happened?
COVID. So Zoom bought Keybase.
Okay.
Yeah, and during COVID, Zoom became really big. Well, Zoom was quite big, but it became huge, and their software sucked. So they bought Keybase for, I think, $40 million, and they just took all of their software engineers and put them to
On
fix
Zoom.
Zoom. Yeah. So during COVID, like, Keybase stopped receiving a lot of critical updates, and it was the thing where Keybase being abandoned, and of course Zoom is a good platform for conferences and for voice chat, but it's not a good platform for actual business messaging. And Microsoft made Teams available, like, to the public. You remember Microsoft Teams? Because we moved from Keybase to
How
Teams.
can we forget?
How can we forget? Indeed. And the thing with Teams was that it had all the functionalities, but it was awful at notifications, both on desktop and on mobile. I don't know if you share that opinion, but Teams was like, oh, I get all the notifications one day, and then I get all the notifications another day, but they're last day's notifications.
I remember the mobile app was absolutely horrible.
Yeah. There's so many of these things where you see Microsoft being such a big company, and then you wonder how. Like, they have so much of their software stack is janky as hell. It's like, yeah, it's weird. But that brings us to the present and hopefully the future, which is Discord, which is our
Hasn't
app of which
hasn't
has not let us
disappointed
down.
at all.
Mhm.
At
No,
all.
no. Discord is excellent because it's it's very good at doing what we needed to do. And whenever you ask businesses why they don't use Discord, I don't know if you know this. Their answer is a very Like it's a I would say it's a crappy bit. It's a crappy answer, and the answer is like, oh, I can't see what my staff are talking about. That
Hmm.
is that is the only thing that they're, because if you have a Discord server, you can't really see the private chats. I think there are things that you can do to see it, but it's not an avenue that we've even considered exploring because it's not necessary. But it's interesting how how sneaky businesses are.
But
Where
do you think businesses are still spending time reading through chats?
I think there was like this famous case quite recently where the son of a CEO would fire people based on if they'd said bad things about him
Oh, that's
on
so
on
petty.
on their Slack, because it was like a Slack channel, and then they got suspicious or something. So like the shit hit the fan. So then they found out. I think like it might have been through court requests and stuff that they actually found out the reasons. So yeah, I think it's the type of thing where it how can I say, like, it might be more important than people are willing to admit. Because Linus Tech Tips,
Of course.
they had this discussion, and it was like, why are you guys using Microsoft Teams? It sucks. And then some of their groups uses Slack, and I think they're quite happy with Slack. But like, it was interesting how quickly they shut down oh, why don't use Discord? And it's like, oh, there's several reasons, and but they didn't really get into the details of it.
Do you think
But
it was
anyway,
for the same reasons that they're not able to monitor staff
I I,
chats?
I think it's the thing where you have more administrative control in other platforms than you do on Discord. And
That's
that
true,
can
though.
be and that yeah, exactly, and that can demonstrate itself in different ways. But I would say that, as someone who has used Discord before as just a normal user and someone who uses it now for business, I would not it would be really hard to convince me to move to another platform. Like, there is almost no downsides to Discord when it comes to this.
They start saying that you need to pay for it.
That's the thing. I would say that for Discord, if they kind of spun out their current software and just put like a business logo next to it, like, Discord Pro or Discord Business, I think they would really have like a winner. Because, by enabling people to maybe have some of the more administrative features that businesses need, that doesn't have to have all of them, but also not be in the same platform where you can simultaneously pawn noobs, but also join your business server. I think it could work.
I think they
Yeah,
can make an easy transition as well. They have everything done perfectly, and they just need to add a couple of features to appeal to business use.
exactly. That might be an interesting avenue for them to explore. It might also be that I think Microsoft bought Discord too.
Is that recent?
I remember that there was. Oh, okay. So apparently it fell through. But I remember that there was chats of Microsoft expressed interest, because apparently, if you are one of the world's largest corporations, you can just buy everything.
I just saw the sum of 10 billion being thrown around. That's
Yeah, yeah,
crazy.
yeah, exactly. But I don't remember why it fell through. So it's interesting. Like, they probably have quite, either they might know that there's potential for growth there, because that would be one reason why they wouldn't sell, because it might be worth it to continue development and sell at an even higher valuation. But still, 10 billion, that was before the funding winter that is now, where all of the venture capital firms have realized that, oh yeah, we need to actually make some money back from our investment now that we can't borrow at 0% interest. But that's
That's
not neither
another
here
topic.
nor there. Yeah, precisely.
That could be another episode, definitely.
Yeah, yeah. I guess, like, getting into global economic and monetary policy is definitely a topic that can fill an entire podcast. But
So,
our podcast, which is Engage and Optimize, a RedSocial podcast officially now, will focus on the things that are engaging and worth optimizing.
so we spoke about chat platforms.
Hmm.
Now let's talk about email.
Okay, I have some
So,
opinions there.
how happy are you with Help Scout?
I would say that I could be happier.
Is it the price tag?
The thing with Help Scout is that they offer a very enticing solution, but I think, okay, my opinion on the GoPro and Insta360. No, obviously the public doesn't, but they have had the platform that they've built very well, and now they've had it for, I think, almost 10 years. And the problem with that is that it kind of feels like it has fallen a bit behind. So they introduced the chat feature, and
The
that's
AI
something that,
chat, the
no,
AI
no,
summarize.
no, just the normal chat, just the normal chat feature where you could have, like, integrate the chat bubble on the website instead of the email.
Yeah,
But the problem with that
beacon,
is that,
right? That's what it
yeah, the
was called.
beacon, precisely. The problem with that is that the chat beacon can't prompt a user, nor can you see, like, what the user is doing. So, for example, if you could see that the user is stuck on a page for a long time, it would be helpful to have prompts. And their answer to my inquiry about that was quite disappointing. Where it didn't even seem that they had that in their roadmap. But regardless of that, like, Help Scout is a very, very useful platform. It's so useful in fact that we haven't even tried to look for an alternative.
I
What do
think
you
the
think of Help
fact
Scout?
I think the fact that we solved our issues of emails ending up in spam, that that helped quite a lot. Help Scout deserves its praise just for that alone. I also like the weekly emails we get from Matt Patterson. I read all of them. I don't know if you do the same.
Yeah, I've read a couple. Like, he makes some decent, like, decent topic ideas and decent discussion. Like, he writes about interesting things.
Exactly. I like
Uh,
how he writes. That's just something that always fascinates me.
I would say that this is like one of those examples where a company has a blog, but that's not, just, they have really paid attention to it. It's not just, oh, we have a blog too, but it's their blog definitely fills a niche and has interesting topics that are worth reading. But one thing about email is that we didn't explore previously, and that I'm currently exploring now, is the Google Business Suite. So Google offers the option to manage email with a platform like Gmail, but you can have your own email address. And that provides the same, I would say, authority to your emails, where they land in spam less. And then we're always talking about emails that should not be landing in spam because it's a direct customer reply or a direct communication. And a lot of businesses pursue that. I would say that it's less useful when you're trying to manage customer tickets, because in this case it's more of like a regular inbox where you could check customer discussions and follow up on things. But when you have a lot of volume to manage, then Help Scout does that very well, because you can actually assign emails to different people while still staying within the same inbox. But that's been something that I've been exploring. And it's that, because it is that thing where if you just have a self-hosted email on, just a hosting service, then your email is very low authority. So it will be treated suspiciously by these platforms. Because that's the thing, you can create like a billion emails with your own domain. But if you want to create a billion Gmail accounts, that starts becoming quite tedious.
But what would be the main reason to make the change?
Not for RedSocial. No, this is more of like an exploration into, like, if you want to have business email, it is worth having the Google Suite option, because you can have a much larger inbox, for example, because you're not using your server space to host your emails,
Yeah,
like
that makes sense.
attachments. Then your emails also have all of the NKIP verifications, all of the things that lower your spam potential. The verifications that we've done, for example, on Help Scout. So you add these to the name servers of your domain, and this one gives even more authority to your emails. And then lastly, I would say that if you compare Roundcube to Gmail, one of those
There's no
platforms.
comparison.
Exactly. And I think like the Google Suite is about $5 a month. So it's very
Yeah,
reasonable.
from a
Like business standpoint, it's
value to price ratio, it's
worth every penny. But Help Scout is yeah, it's excellent. I guess as what I meant by my initial reaction to Help Scout is that you see so much potential for innovation. And I'm not saying that Help Scout isn't trying, but I would want Help Scout to be like, here's the email. We have already gone through all of your email history. Here's a potential reply template. And that's how they would use AI. Not summarize this, which, that's yeah, it has AI, but it has it so it checks the box, not so it's actually
let's
useful.
just add this on the feature list.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, we want to have another pointer in our premium package. Let's add it.
I don't know if you got the email when they made their site relaunch. They did the complete revamp of the site.
I remember that was earlier last year, but I didn't read the email.
Oh,
I'm not a big fan of their new site.
did I send you the SEO score they had?
Yeah, exactly. Well,
It's hilarious.
I was still not as big of a fan even before seeing how shabby that that was. Have you emailed them about it, by the way?
I actually emailed Matt himself
Okay,
on
okay.
3 of his emails,
Oh, you
and
were
two,
determined.
yeah, I was determined, and the 2 of them bounced back, and I never heard back from the third, and they still have the same mistakes.
Well,
So they
it's clear
haven't
that
even went through their
yeah,
header tags. That's so
it's
funny.
clear it's clear that Matt doesn't use Help Scout.
Yeah, yeah. So that was very interesting.
Mhm.
Oh,
It's interesting to see, the behind the curtains sometimes, when you can see these very powerful and potentially huge business operations making quite amateur mistakes. It gives you, potentially quite a bit of, like, it gives you motivation about the potential of growth and business out there.
I think that they're just so busy focusing on the next big thing. We need to add this feature. We need to deliver on this requirement. We need to add AI to our platform. And they end up not focusing on the basics. And it's surprising, as you mentioned before, that so many businesses are doing such amateur mistakes. It makes you wonder how is nobody going through these. So just so people know right now, Help Scout has header tags all over the place. They start with a H4 tag, simple, powerful, personal. That's their first tag on the site. They go through a couple dozen of these tags until they reach their H1 tag, which is every customer, partner, vendor, client conversation, one unified platform, all together, no spacing, no main keyword, nothing.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know what they say, the H4 tag, that's that really
Yeah,
powerful one. Like, that's the
that's
one
the,
you want.
that's the money tag.
That's the money tag right there. I didn't know that their H1 didn't have spaces though. Is it just like in their code? It's
Have you
not because it.
checked their homepage?
Yeah, no,
It's
I have.
they use that slide, not slider feature, that animation feature with the text
Oh
where
yeah, 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 yeah.
the
Yeah,
text
like we
changes.
used to have it. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
And we
uh,
faced the same issue, remember?
yeah, precisely.
Because it just lists all of those, lists every text that you apply there.
Yeah,
And it just ends up making no sense at all from a search query perspective.
precisely. That is fascinating to see that even after 6 months, that's still the case. But
Emailed them about it. I gave them some free
it
advice.
it might be that you might have emailed the wrong person as well.
I went at the top.
Yeah, that guy, that guy has blog articles to write. He's not looking at
Yeah.
tag fixes. He's like, yeah, I'm highly focused. Speaking of highly focused, I think this would be a good place to end the first episode of Engage and Optimize.
A
And
Red Social podcast. You
that is it.
forgot you forgot the second part. The reason
That's
why I chose that name is because
mm,
I liked the second part.
the second part does actually sound very official.
It does.
Thanks again to ChatGPT for helping us in these very difficult tasks, especially name finding. But we will be joined again next week for a more concise and organized episode. This was our, we might call it our pilot episode.
I think pilot
And
sounds nice.
and we will hopefully be joined once again with the co-host Klaus. And from me, Scott, bye bye.
Pleasure speaking to you.